Think about this for a second. Our English language, it is all rooted in deception. As I have studied etymology and gone into the roots of words and looking what these words mean and where we get them, so many of the words that we use come from Old Latin, New Latin, Greek, French, German, Vietnamese, Bulgarian, blah, 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 blah. Our English language comes from a blender of languages and words that have all been chopped up and broken up in the most specific of ways, specifically designed to create the language that we know as the English language. And it is all deceptive. It is all deceptive. We do not know the words that we speak. We do not understand the frequency of them, the vibration of them, or the meaning of them. As an example, the word firmament comes from Old French or Old Latin, directly from Latin, or Hebrew, or Old English, or Syriac. So a single word comes from all of these different languages, languages. Again, think about that. Just one word, firmament. You look it up in an etymological dictionary, and the definition comes from Old French, or Latin, or Greek, or Hebrew, or Syriac, think about that. Think about that for a second. Think about what I'm telling you. A single word literally has roots in Old French, Latin, Hebrew, Greek, and what the hell else am I seeing here? And Syriac, or Syriac, Syriac, in a Syriac meaning. So these words that we use, we have on such a grand scale, absolutely, positively, unequivocally, for the most part, no concept of the words and their meanings. You start looking into etymological dictionaries, and you'll see that our words have meanings that come from the 13th century, the 15th century, the 14th century, the 8th century, and all of this other stuff. Half the word will have this meaning from these 5 languages. The other half the word will have that meaning from those 3 languages. A suffix might mean this from 3 or 4 different languages. The prefix might mean this from 2 or 3 different languages, all of which are different languages, all of which are from other places that have spanned through the course of time. You see the picture that I'm painting here? Everything about the language that we speak. I lived out west for a long time and spoke to a couple of Native Americans. One conversation in particular that I remember having with a guy who was from the Hopi tribe took me out to the Second Mesa and showed me some things that most people don't get the opportunity to see. And one of the things that he said, and I didn't fully understand what he meant, was that the white man's language is a language of deception. And now I understand what he meant. Now I truly understand what he meant. That in their language, there's no word for lie. They don't have a way of lying in their language. But the white man's language is literally, in its very construction, a lie. I know that sounds out there, and we all think we understand our language because we say these words that we've learned since we were a kid, and we've been taught this stuff, so we think we know. We think we know, thereby coming back to a point I've made in multiple videos. Where do we get what we think we know? And we don't even comprehend where we get what we think we know. And what helps us to comprehend what it is we think we know are the words that we use to describe these things. And when we don't even realize and don't even understand the nature of the words and how deceptively they've all been created, it would probably behoove most of us to never speak English again, because it's just such a shit show of deception and broken up words. How and why our languages have evolved throughout the course of time. Certain words change. Why is that? Why doesn't the word X, I'll just insert word here, have the same meaning today that it had 2,000 years ago? Words are words are words. But when you start thinking about it, somebody or something, or somebody working with something, literally put all these languages in a blender, and chopped them up into a bazillion pieces, and started putting together a little puzzle of language. And most of us have absolutely no concept of the words that we speak and the meanings of the words. And if you think about it, and this is just a point, it's not saying I necessarily believe this, but there are aspects of it that do resonate with me. What's the first thing they tell us the Creator did? It spoke. Frequency, vibration is what leaves the lips when speaking. And we live in a 3D that is very much tied to vibration, frequency, resonance. We can see the creative power of vibration and frequency when you simply watch and study a little bit about cymatics, which is how frequency and sound has the ability to literally shape matter. And in this particular context, sand. Sand is matter. It is a material that is physically, you can physically grab it and touch it. It is matter. When we sit there and watch with cymatics, how sound and frequency has such a profound effect on the matter. And they have low vibrations, and the patterns aren't very complex. And certain vibrations, the patterns are very broken up and shattered. They start increasing the frequency. All of a sudden, the patterns become more and more and more and more complex into much more complex geometric shapes. So if you think I'm full of shit when I tell you we don't know the resonance and the vibration and the frequency of the words that we speak, then you go ahead and tell yourself whatever you need to tell yourself to keep your paradigm functioning the way it does. But if you have any shred of curiosity in your mind, do a little bit of study into cymatics. Hell, just jump on YouTube and look at a couple of videos where there are labs in colleges or hell in people's garages where they've set up relatively controlled, if not extremely controlled experiments where they're blasting various sound waves at various frequencies at sand, and you literally watch these patterns morph before your eyes. God, the creator, whatever the hell it was, spoke and created. We see sound creating patterns in matter. That pretty much is self-evident when you look at it. Therefore, what comes out of our mouth matters. And when we don't even understand what the words mean, and then think about this, we are all collectively creating. And think of the words that we use, and think of the fact that, or assume for just a minute here, that we don't even know the resonance or the vibration associated to the words that we speak and what they really mean. And all of us are out there just blah, 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 talking. We are creating our own reality. And look at the world around us. Look at this shit show. Think about that for a second. Something had a vested interest in breaking up our language and turning it into this Franken language that all of us are using to create. And we don't even realize that we're creating. We do not realize the power of our words. We do not realize the vibration and the frequency that is associated to words that we think we understand or comprehend what they mean. Yep. I'm telling you, people. I'm telling you. You don't have to believe it. You can tell me I'm a fucking idiot. You can tell me I'm a crazy person. Everything you think you know has been handed to you. And it's all been a lie. It's all been a lie. When you start looking at how our language has been bastardized, there's a reason for that. 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 Anyway, do with that information what you will.